Hello and thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, Paris remembers its most cherished musical son. 25 years after his death, we're at an exhibition paying tribute to Serge Gainsbourg. Madonna, Angelina Jolie and Kristin Scott-Thomas, they've all emerged radiant from her darkroom. We're at French photographer Bettina Rheims' new exhibition in Paris. And a realistic tale of hedonism gone wrong, the award-winning Belgian film Belgica. Thanks for joining us. Affectionately known as Cabbage Head Man, he loves some of the world's most beautiful women. He was a shy man who spent most of his life in the spotlight and a prankster who knew how to outrage the public. 25 years after his death, Olivier Salazar-Winspear reports now on a Paris exhibition celebrating France's pop genius, Serge Gainsbourg.
A lyrical genius and a volatile character, Serge Gainsbourg's spirit's still with us in the words he left.
You'll have to hoover up in the bedroom because I had a bit of a tantrum. I got in a rage about a cassette that I couldn't get out the machine, so I broke it with a hammer. Have a nice holiday, Serge.
Bonnes vacances, Serge.
This note was for Fulbert, Gainsbourg's butler. The domestic employee's godson donated the text to this exhibition, which is made up of the little notes and pictures that constituted the singer's daily life.
It's a way of getting closer to Serge. It's a little more intimate, seeing his daily life. Because when we see him on the TV, that wasn't even a facade, it was simply another Serge.
Oh, je voudrais tant que tu te souviennes.
At home, on stage, with his family and at all ages, this show brings together the work of 15 photographers. There are 2 paintings within the collection, black and white collage pieces, multifaceted compositions reflecting the singer's personality.
These are paintings that you can see from different angles. When you look at them from afar, you see the portrait, and then you get closer, you see more of the details. His life, his songs, the women he loved.
The collection's been put together in a gallery in Saint-Germain, but its curator wanted to take it outside of those 4 walls, into the streets of the neighborhood where Gainsbourg lived. She asked local shopkeepers to host some of the photography in an interior design shop, at a wine merchant's, and in this bistro where Serge was a regular.
Bonjour tout le monde.
It wasn't hard to convince them to welcome back a familiar face.
Everyone remembers him here, in shops, galleries, and of course here at the Bistrot de Paris, where he came for lunch and dinner. In fact, he had his last dinner here.
The restaurant staff sits down for a meal before the service, among them Louis, who served Gainsbourg here for years.
He was an extraordinary person. Look at this present he gave me before he died. He used to come here, he liked me a lot, and I just loved that guy. He was incredible, really simple, really kind.
25 years after his death, Serge Gainsbourg's legacy is both musical and personal here in the streets of Paris.
Next, to a unique view of female flesh, Bettina Rheims' photography puts women front and centre in pictures that range from fine art to fashion to portraits. The Maison Européenne de la Photo in Paris is hosting a show celebrating the French artist's work. She showed us around the exhibition, as Olivier Salazar-Winspear reports.
She's happiest behind the lens and well away from the limelight. Bettina Rheims puts famous women centre stage, celebrating strength, beauty and sexuality. Madonna, Marion Cotillard, Angelina Jolie and Kristin Scott-Thomas. They've all emerged radiant from her darkroom.
It's always a bit harder with celebrities, because you think, oh, they've been photographed by everyone and you have to get an iconic image, something that will become timeless.
Rheims started off at 24 years old when her then boyfriend gave her a camera, and she never looked back. Charlotte Rampling was among her first subjects when the photographer was still an unknown.
I didn't know who she was, but I was sort of well known at the time. We did a shoot and she was so nervous that the photo was underexposed, or something didn't quite work and she was terrified, thinking that she'd messed the whole thing up. So she wrote to me and I said, "Come back, we'll do it again."
With a style that paints idealized images and a different take on reality, Bettina Rheims' career swiftly became a who's who of modern icons. Each sitting has an orchestrated sense of ceremony.
When I'm in front of the camera, I need the person behind that camera to understand me, so that I can express myself, what I'm feeling, and so that it comes through in the photo.
From supermodels to magazine covers to the official portrait of the president, black and white, colour, chic, lurid and even political, Bettina Rheims covers a wide spectrum, and as this series on the life of Christ shows, she doesn't shy away from controversial subject matter.
You don't spend 40 years of your life waking up in the morning thinking, who should I provoke today? That would be stupid, but trying to get a reaction, that yes. Isn't that what being an artist is about? Rebelling against perceived ideas and pushing things forward?
Preferring to let her photos speak for her, Rheims shows us the result of a memorable shoot with Sharon Stone.
We did this photo one evening in a hotel room. It took, 30 minutes. It was at the Château Marmont.
Whether it's Sharon Stone or an unknown model, Bettina Rheims has been building a collection of candid close-ups for almost 4 decades.
Let's head to India now for some music and dance that's been passed through the ages. The World Sacred Spirit Festival has been taking place in Jodhpur in Rajasthan. France 24's reporters were there.
Swaying to the rhythms of an age-old music tradition. These children come from Muslim families of Rajasthan, where the art is handed down from father to son. Today, they're performing at the Jodhpur Music Festival, and as tradition dictates, they're doing so in the presence of their patron and host, the Hindu Maharaja of the city.
One time I thought that it will die out. Now I see that there's a future. We have to give them a platform and make it attractive for them to continue, otherwise they go into other professions.
The Maharaja has opened up his imposing fortress to carry on the legacy of folk music. And at the heart of this festival is Qawwali, the devotional music tradition of Sufi Islam, born in India almost 1,000 years ago. It's a mix of spiritual and physical ecstasy. Today, this form of music has seduced followers beyond the subcontinent. These Americans, for example, have learned to sing from the leading Indian and Pakistani gurus of Qawwali. The tabla player in this group is a woman, a first in a world traditionally dominated by men.
Thank you. Yes. Breaking those barriers.
Yeah, I've had to work harder to be accepted here, and usually after they see me play, they very much accept me. Maybe before they have some question, but after they see, they enjoy so much.
At this festival, local music and dance forms embrace those of other cultures. Here, the classical North Indian Kathak dance meets the frenzied rhythms of French Guyana.
Christians, Muslims, and Sufi. Whether you want it or not, we are all a part of all these religions. It's for everyone to feel it. It's a brotherhood of the heart. For me, that's Sufism, brotherhood of the heart.
I have cried, I have laughed, I have danced. It has been an absolutely amazing experience.
The Jodhpur edition of this festival is in its 5th year and attracted nearly 10,000 people.
Next to a film for anyone who's pushed things a bit too far and woken up after a heavy night wishing they could turn back the clock. Belgica is director Felix van Groningen's follow-up to The Broken Circle Breakdown, which was nominated for Best Foreign Film Oscar in 2014. The drama follows 2 brothers who start a bar and get swept up in its success. The idea for the film is partly based on reality. The director's father owned a night spot in Belgium, which he sold to 2 brothers.
Hey, Jo. Je ziet mijn frère. Ik gewoon een beetje komen uit met de weekend. Oh, dat is die zit natuurlijk niet.
Welkom in uw favoriete oord van verderf, jawel.
J'avais entre mes 12 et mes 23
My dad owned the bar, and I worked there from when I was 12 until I was 23. I also hung out there. At some point, I got fed up with that scene and I started making films. However, it's not an autobiographical movie. It's not my father's story. It became the story of the brothers who bought my father's bar. But the fact that I had seen all of that stayed with me. What I experienced there didn't make me a movie director, but what I saw inspired me to tell an interesting story.
Super, je zijn verwaarlozen, plus al de rest, maat. Kom maar op, maat.
It's not a choice anymore. It's more than I need. But you're the best thing that never happened.
Belgian artist Solwax did the soundtrack for Belgica, which won the Best Director Award at the Sundance Film Festival. It's out in France this week. Well, to someone else now, known for enjoying the high life, Gérard Depardieu. His new film, Saint-Amour, is out in France this week. It's the story of father and son farmers who go on a wine trail in an attempt to improve their relationship. We'll leave you with that. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Allô, Madouce. Bon, ben, pour le boulot, j'ai l'impression qu'il recommence à faire des siennes.
Papa, j'ai une semaine de vacances par an. C'est tout ce que je dis.
On va la faire, ta route des vins, mon boulot. C'est quoi votre prénom?
Mike.
On dirait un prénom de tracteur américain. Madouce, tout va bien. J'ai une bonne et une mauvaise nouvelle. La mauvaise, c'est que j'ai recommencé à boire. Mais la très bonne, c'est que je me suis rapproché de Bruno.
Bonjour. Ne t'inquiète pas, maman, je regarde à ce qu'il ne boive pas trop.